Welcome back into that Sean podcast. Big Ush, Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
Man, we just had a strange week 11 for NFL. Some of my rankings are changing significantly. Some of them are staying the same. This has been a really weird season, and it just continues to get weirder and
It's
weirder.
been fun though.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's fun. Weird.
Well, tell them which week we're going into this week.
We're going into Thanksgiving week.
Oh, turkey.
So I gotta get myself a new hat as we talk about Thanksgiving week. Yeah.
Well, first jumping up, gonna just give some more of our recap on our awards and whatnot. This week I'm changing it up. I'm gonna go first.
Ooh.
Take your spot.
Hey, I'm just gonna sit here and adore my hat. You go ahead with that self.
My offensive players of the week, of the year, update for this week. So Cooper Kupp jumps up to my top spot. He had the week off. That doesn't mean Cooper Kupp jumps out. He's still up there. Next up, got a newcomer. This guy's been he's been doozing it. Didn't take the top spot yet, but he's getting close. Jonathan Taylor. He's basically the full offense of the Indianapolis Colts right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then number 3, I'm keeping Tom Brady in the mix. Tom Brady had a bounce back game. He's still playing pretty darn good. Sean, who are your 3?
Ooh,
Any changes?
significant changes. Yes,
Ooh,
significance.
okay.
My number 1 guy is going to be the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor, who now has over 1,100 rushing yards in the season, averaging over 100 yards per game, has 15 touchdowns, 13 on the ground, 2 through the air. Out of nowhere, I wouldn't say out of nowhere. He's been doing really well all season, but for ranking purposes, shoots right to the top with a 5-touchdown performance. And I don't think that there's any slowing him down. Now, is he going to score 5
Doesn't look like
touchdowns
it.
every week? No, this isn't college. But it wouldn't surprise me to see him with multiple touchdowns each week. That would not be a surprise at all. My number 2 guy remains Cooper Kupp because he is having an amazing year for a wide receiver. And
For anybody.
Yes. And my number 3 guy is brand new to this list as well. So no more Tom Brady, no more Dak Prescott, because I think Tom Brady's going to be part of the MVP
Same thing
conversation
with Dak Prescott.
when we have it. So I don't feel so bad about bumping these guys out because we're thinking MVP is typically won by a quarterback. So it's
There's
about
another
that time
guy.
of year to
There's
get
another guy named Aaron.
Aaron. It's about time to get some skill players out there and up for the
All right.
Offensive Player of the Year award. And my 3rd guy is going to be San Francisco 49er, Deebo Samuel,
Who? Debo.
who has been looking very good this year. He would be the number 1 receiver if it weren't for that Cooper Kupp fella who's having a career year. But Deebo Samuel's getting it done through the air when San Francisco needs it. And when San Francisco's starting running back or running backs go out, Kyle Shanahan's like, hey, Deebo, can I play running back this week? I got you, coach. I got you. Let's go. Let's go.
They're really good when both Debo and George Kittle are healthy. That's hard to stop.
Yeah.
And Ayuk is producing. Oh. Anyways, moving on. My defensive players of the year. I have 1 change and 1 change only. So Myles Garrett's still the top guy. Got a bunch of bad men here, so Myles Garrett's a start one. TJ Watt, next guy, another bad man. Now all 3 of these guys have a lot in common. More so TJ and my 3rd guy. My 3rd guy who's jumped on the list. Micah Parsons. I'm telling you right now, this is not a homer thing. Patrick Mahomes found out Patrick Mahomes tried to outrun Micah Parsons. Didn't work out too well for him.
That's like Terminator
Multiple times he
2,
tried to.
1000 coming after you. You could be Edward Furlong in that motorcycle and drive away, but he's going to catch you.
Micah Parsons has 8 sacks in half the time that these guys have. I think one has 13, the other one has 12 and a half. And Micah has 8 in half the snaps. Think about that. All right, yours up. Now, what are yours? Any changes?
There's a change. It's singular. The top 2 stay the same for me. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett. They're in that order still. Because Pittsburgh defense clearly missed TJ Watt against the Chargers.
Clearly.
Myles Garrett, surprisingly uneventful game considering he was playing the Lions, but not enough to drop him out of that number 2 spot. Number 3 is no longer Trayvon Diggs because did he get an interception this weekend?
No, he did not.
No. Sorry,
Close,
Trayvon.
but no.
I know. You know what you need to do to get at a top 3. Got a pick. You didn't get one. So you're out for this week. But I'm going to replace you with somebody that I've had my eye on all year, and I've been waiting to get into my top 3. New England Patriot, Matt Judon, who's been putting up numbers just as good as Watt and Garrett's.
He's been very quiet, but very good quiet.
Very quiet this season, but I think that game against Atlanta, I think that's going to get his name out there a little bit more, which makes me more excited to get him on my list this week. Matt Judon putting on a career year.
He is. All right, next up, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going to be honest, it's boring this week.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, check. Najee Harris, check. Mac Jones, check. I mean, there's a lot of other guys I like Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Michael Carter, who just got injured, unfortunately, Rashawn Slater. Let's say Elijah Mitchell, who's also injured now. Javonte Williams. But these guys have been the most consistent, and they have put up numbers. So these guys we're sticking with.
Yeah, my order stays the exact same as yours. Jamar Chase, his past 3 games, he's had 12 receptions, 2 touchdowns. He's been held under 50 yards in each of those games. But overall, his season is still looking good. He's got 43 receptions, over 850 yards. He's got 8 touchdowns. So he's still doing good. Najee Harris, slow week against that Charger defense, but he's still on pace for a 1,000-yard season.
And touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got 7 touchdowns total right now. I think 5 on the ground, 2 through the air. And then you have Mac Jones. Continues to look comfortable and confident as a quarterback. He's playing Atlanta's defense, so I think my cat can look comfortable and confident back there. But he picks up win number 7 as a rookie quarterback. Huge.
All right, here's where my shakeup happens.
Ooh.
I want your reaction. Now, note, the top spot does not get shaken up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. In my opinion, this is the Rookie of the Year, period. Him and Jamar Chase probably had a battle for it, but I'm telling you now, Micah Parsons has been the best rookie we've seen all year. And he's going to continue it on Thanksgiving because they got the Raiders coming in with their offensive line. So Derek Carr, be afraid. Be very afraid. But it's the other 2 spots. Odafe, love you, but you've been very quiet lately. Azeez Ojulari, I like you. Don't like you a giant, but I like you as a player. You've been extremely quiet lately.
Yeah.
So my number 2 spot has been replaced by a guy who hasn't been quiet. This guy's been making noise the last, let's say, I think 3 games. Guess what? His team, I believe, is on a winning streak. I think it's the last 3 games. And that's Javon Holland. Miami Dolphins, safety. He's locked down that spot. Once he locked down that spot, this guy's just been making plays. He's nasty, let it be in the backfield or in the secondary. Very versatile pick, a la Derwin James-Ash. Next up, another guy who sat out, all last year. If people wondering what that was, Sean and I were having a discussion about certain players that sat out last year. And right now, out of my rookies of the year, I believe three of them sat out all last year. Anyways, my next guy, I'm replacing Aziz and Odafe with a guy coming off an injury. This guy was hot coming off an injury. I wanted to see if he was going to pick right back up, and he did pick right back up where he left off. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah came in, badass in Cleveland. So that's my three. Who you got, Sean?
I can't wait to put JOK back in my list, but it's not this week. It's not this week.
You're sleeping on Javon, though.
No, I'm high on Javon. I am. It's just I don't think Miami was using their secondary as aggressively as they should have earlier in the season. He's heating up, so I'll give you that. He's on the radar. But Micah Parsons still my number one. Continues to dominate.
He's going to be number one.
Yeah,
we could shut him down right now, and he still keeps that one spot.
We could ignore the rest of the season, and he would still be number one. Odafe away is still number two for me. He had a quiet game, but
he's had a couple quiet games.
I know. For me, it wasn't anything to knock him out of that number two spot yet. And he usually follows up a quiet game like he had this past weekend. He usually follows it up with a sack and a few tackles for a loss, making more of an impact in the game. So we'll see we'll see what this weekend brings. Number three guy remains Kwity Paye. He's been heating up. He had one pressure. He had one pressure in this game, but he made that pressure count by getting a strip sack. So I think it was pretty good. Pretty good. But like your list, yeah, there are some guys who are just waiting, both offense and defense. They're just waiting for some of these guys like Odafe to continue its slow weeks and get replaced. Mm-hmm. And it could happen anytime now.
Now, coaching hot seats. Guess who's number one still? Ain't nothing changed but the day of the week for this. Matt Nagy, you're still number one. Joe Judge, you just fired your offensive coordinator. Guess what? You're still number two. You're next. And then number three, I'm sorry. Again, another guy who's lost by the times. Pete Carroll. Yeah, I know you were like in 2 Super Bowls straight, but this ain't that time no more. Figure it out. You have a well-paid quarterback who is just insane. Figure it out. Sean.
My top three or bottom three, however we're looking at this, the same people, just a slightly different order. What doesn't change is Matt Nagy at number one. This was...
He might not make the week.
An embarrassing loss. You would have did there. Embarrassing. Fifth straight loss. This time to a vulnerable Ravens team that you should have beaten. The crowd is chanting it, and I can't disagree with it. He's not doing anything right in Chicago. He's not doing anything redeemable to keep his job. But that's nothing new for the past couple of weeks that we've been talking about. So, number two, Joe Judge. You just... I know you weren't supposed to win against Tampa Bay. I get it. It's another loss, though. And with this Giants organization, such a huge mess right now that Jason Garrett is only the first domino. The question is, who goes first, Edelman or Judge? Where do they go at the same time?
That's the thing.
But it's not looking good for either of them to be back next year. So they can fire their defensive coordinator. They can fire their special teams coordinator. They can fire a whole bunch of assistants. But it's not going to help Joe Judge.
All right, you're number three guy.
Vic Fangio. You had a bye week. You don't get off my list just by having a bye week. You're dangerously close to being under 500 for the third consecutive season. I hope that you use this bye week correctly to put Javonte Williams in as your starting running back.
I almost think you put some of these guys on here as a challenge because, I mean, you had Brian Flores on. He stepped up. You had Kyle Shanahan on. He stepped up.
Mike Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer. Now Vic Fangio, who has 5 wins, I mind you. But we'll see.
Well, we've had conversations about what those wins look like and quality wins. For me, they're close to that Jets territory where you have those stunning victories. Well, I shouldn't even say stunning. You have those victories, and then you have disappointments. Because the early season, the first 3 games, those were games that they should have won. Dallas, I didn't expect, but there's been a whole bunch of games in between where like they should be winning this game. Why are they not?
I got you. All right, moving on. We're gonna do top teams, and believe it or not, and yes, call me a homer if you want. I have a team that's still in my top teams because here's the thing: I don't overreact too much about much. So everybody's like gonna be like, so my teams, Green Bay is still my top team. I'm not overreacting to the loss. I'm not. Green Bay's still my top team. The Rams I have plugged in as my second team. I'm sorry, Tennessee. That's a bad loss. You got dominated by a bad team. And that's the thing. Not even like a okay team. Like if it was like Denver or Minnesota or something like that, I could understand. But they got dominated by a bad team. You drop out of that. And then I have Dallas because they were shorthanded playing a good team, and that good team did not dominate them like a good team should have. They were still in the mix. There are other things that I believe went on there. Now, you might ask, why is Arizona not on your list? Because Arizona, in my opinion, played a close game, yes, with backups, against a bad team. I don't think Seattle's a good team right now. There's a reason why Pete Carroll's on my hot list, or hot seat. And then another team you might ask is Baltimore. Again, is somebody on my hot seat? I think they should have, even with the backup quarterback, should have been better than they were against Chicago. But that's my thoughts. Again, I did consider them to put on there because they won with backups. This is the thing. These are the teams that I mean, interchangeable. I could have interchanged them or Dallas, and I would, and it's not an issue for me. Your thoughts, Sean?
At this point in the season, you still don't know who is who or what is what, and nothing makes sense to me anymore. This is I think the second time that my top 3 teams have all lost in the same week, and I don't think it's that I'm overreacting. I just think some of these losses drop them down slightly, and it happens to be out of the top 3. Because last week was Dallas, Green Bay, Tennessee. Tennessee, it was a little sketchy on because
that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I mean, Tennessee is like not going to get back. Man, I'm not going to say they're not getting back into my top 3, but they got a lot to prove.
They got to bounce back in a major way
over a series of weeks, not just a single week. The Packers, I was having a hard time putting into my top 3 to begin with.
I know,
but
because you're a Packer fan.
I have higher expectations for them. So my top 3, we have Arizona Cardinals back at number 1. Very weird. Colt McCoy led the team to a victory. Yeah, it was against Seattle. Okay, Seattle isn't as good as Seattle's a couple of years ago, but without your starting quarterback, number 1 wide receiver,
okay,
and number 1 running back, still good. New England Patriots, number 2 for me. Never should have doubted Bill Belichick.
I don't.
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. And number 3, I have the Baltimore Ravens. No Lamar Jackson, no Hollywood Brown, no problem. You still found a way to win in Chicago when you shouldn't have. But it's not saying that Dallas and Green Bay have dropped far down my list. They're still in the top 6. Tennessee, though, Tennessee dropped a bit. So.
All right, now our bottom teams. My bottom teams. Guess what? Take a guess who the worst team in my list is.
Have you won a game?
No, they have not. Yes, it would be those Detroit Lions. Until you get that dub, you're going to be the worst team. Next up, we got the New York Jets. Y'all a mess. And right now, with the issues with their quarterback room, oh yeah, I get it. Your starter is back, but your backup got COVID. The backup to your backup has close contact with COVID, and obviously he's unvaccinated if he can't be in the building. And then you're elevating the backup to the backup. Yeah. And then my number 3 team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a battle between the Jaguars and the Houston Texans. And the Houston Texans just look better.
Surprisingly, they do.
Those Seattle Seahawks are very close. Sean, who's your bottom teams?
Number 1 or 32, depending on how you look at it, the Detroit Lions, because these are games that you should be winning.
But have they?
Early in the season, I was giving a little bit more grace to the Lions. So they're playing harder.
He was.
Playing harder than their record. But now, they're not playing harder than their record. They're in games where they should be winning, and they're failing to win. And that's why I'm still at the bottom of my list. Should be winning, but they're not. So, we've got the Lions, number 1. Next up, we have Jacksonville Jaguars. Y'all just
Not
look
hating
bad.
that.
Y'all look bad. And number 3. Hello, Atlanta Falcons. How you doing? Welcome to the bottom 3.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Atlanta is not good, but how you got Atlanta in the bottom 3 over the Jets, I have no idea.
Well, the Jets are rotating. They've had, 4 starting quarterbacks this year?
They weren't good when they had a starting quarterback.
It was a rookie starting quarterback. Atlanta has,
and he's coming back in.
A seasoned veteran who has won an MVP and led his team to the Super Bowl. So expectations
that's why they've got 2 more wins.
That doesn't mean you are excluded from my bottom 3.
I would also argue that the Jets have a better defense and better weapons.
Defense, yeah.
I'd still argue that they have better offensive players.
Weapons. Ugh.
It's not saying much for either team.
No.
Anyways, those are our list, people. We're gonna jump right into the games. First game of the week, Thursday.
We got 3 of them.
Early on, Thanksgiving. Got the Bears going to Detroit to face the Lions. Bears are favored by 3. I don't like this game. I don't like this game at all. I'm taking the Bears to win, but I don't like this game.
Nope. It's a good thing this is the early game because we're potentially going to see Andy Dalton versus Tim Boyle.
I don't like this game.
And if you're going to be involved with any Thanksgiving preparations, like preparing a meal or, preparing the turkey, preparing the side.
This is where you do it.
Arguing with family, chasing the dog, falling asleep, whatever it looks like, this is the time to do it. I don't feel good about this game. I don't like this game. I got the Bears winning, though. I will say that if the Detroit Lions win this game, Matt Nagy is gone.
Gots to go.
He shouldn't make it to Saturday. Gone.
Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Arlington, Texas to face the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored 7.5. I don't know about the spread, but I think Dallas should win this game. My understanding is Tyron Smith is going to play, and CeeDee Lamb apparently has a good chance to play. So regardless, I still have Dallas winning this game. The Raiders, I don't think they have the horses on offense to play with the Cowboys. This defense is better than what people think.
Don't we usually see some surprises on Thanksgiving? Like something we didn't expect to happen happens.
Not really.
It could be the Raiders winning because we've seen how well the Raiders have played early in the season. We've seen how well they've played under Rich Bisaccia.
It's very possible.
But they're on a 3-game losing streak. They're reeling. I don't see them winning in Dallas on a short week. So I got Dallas.
And now in the late game, Buffalo Bills traveling to New Orleans, face those Saints. Buffalo's favored by 6. I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. But I don't feel good about it because the Buffalo Bills have not been as good as they should be, in my opinion. New Orleans has a darn good pass rush. Marcus Davenport has finally lived up to what Sean has been pooping on him for.
Well, it took 4 or 5 years.
4 years. 4 years. Sometimes players need to develop.
For a first-round pick and mid-first-round pick, you don't wait 4 years.
No. You poo on the Saints front office for that, not Marcus Davenport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marcus, we all knew he was a project, but we knew once he unlocked those that potential, he was going to be a monster, and he's been a monster. Who you picking, Sean?
I'm going with Buffalo for this one.
Do you feel good about it?
I do. I'm not even going to talk about spread purposes, but straight up, I like Buffalo. New Orleans, their offense, there's a lot missing to it. And I think that's what the game's going to come down to because you have Jared Allen, you have Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox is getting healthier. You will have some semblance of a rushing game from Buffalo. So I feel pretty good about Buffalo in this one.
All right, next up we have the Steelers traveling to Cincinnati, face those Bengals. I think the Steelers are still going to be shorthanded on defense. I'm going to take Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 4.5. I don't know about that spread, but I'm taking Cincinnati.
Yeah, straight up like Cincinnati in this one. Pittsburgh's defense really was missing TJ Watt out there. Minka Fitzpatrick was out. Joe Hayden was out. Maybe they get one of those guys back. But the defense was not looking as good as it should have. I don't think they're going to give up 41 points like they did to Cincinnati. But
You mean
Chargers? Yeah.
Chargers.
But I think Cincinnati's going to be putting some points on the board against them. Maybe Jamar Chase makes a house call. Who knows?
Next up, we have Tampa going to Lucas Oil Stadium to face those Colts. This one, Tampa's favored by 3. You know something? I'm going to have some fun with this one. I don't even know if I believe it. But I'm going to go Colts.
Spread or straight up? Or both?
Was that for the win?
For the win? Ooh.
For the win.
I'm going to disagree there. Tampa Bay should be getting healthier. They got Gronk back. They should be getting Antonio Brown back soon. Maybe not this weekend. But those pieces are getting healthier, and I think they might already make that second half push.
I'll say this. If they have Antonio Brown, I take Tampa. If Antonio Brown's not there, I think it's Indianapolis. Chris Godwin's still a little banged up. We'll see how it goes. All right, next up, we have the Carolina Panthers traveling to Miami. Carolina's favored by 1.5. I think that is foolish. I am taking Miami straight up.
Man, this is tough. I don't believe in Cam Newton as a starting quarterback.
I don't either. That's why I took Miami.
But I have a lot of issue with Miami.
I don't.
All right, I'm going Carolina. Christian McCaffrey is going to run for 14,000 yards in this game.
He will not, but that's okay.
No, he won't.
All right, the Tennessee Titans try to get back on track. going to Gillette Stadium
Nope.
against the
Patriots.
New England
Nope.
Patriots.
Nope.
The Patriots are going to win this game.
But this is 2021, and it's backwards and upside down, so who knows? Maybe they do come away with the victory, but I don't think so.
Speaking of backwards and upside down, the Philadelphia Eagles travel to East Rutherford, MetLife Stadium, to face those Giants. Philly should win this game, but it's backwards and upside down here. And those Giants could easily come away with a victory. I'm taking Philly. But who knows? Maybe those Giants have a surge of energy considering Jason Garrett's gone.
You mean they're going to miss this on the sidelines?
Did you hear about the tweet Des Bryant put out there?
No, tell me.
He apparently put out that Kadarius Toney will now have a very enjoyable career.
Well, the same should be said about Kenny Galladay too. But like you, I'm going to Philadelphia for this one. Maybe hiring Jason Garrett's going to be a shot in the arm or a kick in the butt or kick in the crotch, whatever that New York offense needs. But it doesn't change their defense. And Jalen Hurts has shown us that he can throw for 100 yards and then still run for 3 touchdowns and be dangerous.
Because my question is this: Joe Judge still the head coach?
After this game?
Now.
What do you mean? Is he still the head coach? Can he go back to a special teams role?
Is Joe Judge still the head coach? Yes or no? Right now.
I mean, I'm confused.
Right now, Joe Judge is the head coach of the New York Giants right now.
Yeah, that's his.
Then enough said.
Job title. Oh, that's where you're going with that. I thought you had some like late breaking news that I didn't know about, and someone else got fired.
Enough said, Philly.
I see what you did there. Okay.
All right, next up, the Atlanta Falcons travel to Jacksonville to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is even, and I don't know who to take. I have no idea who to take here. But just for fun, I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars just for fun.
Oh, so am I. Just for fun.
This isn't even the lowest ticket of the week. You know that, right?
Oh, the next one is, yeah.
The next one is the New York Jets travel to Houston to face those Houston Texans. I'm taking the Texans.
So am I.
Again, though, who wants to watch this game?
Man.
All right, next game. A game a little bit more watchable. The Los Angeles Chargers go to Mile High to face the Denver Broncos. I'm taking the Chargers. Chargers are only favored by 2.5. Smash it.
Denver just has not looked, for whatever reason, has not looked as good as their early 3-0 record indicated. And I get it, bad teams, but they were demolishing those bad teams. They just couldn't sustain that. You're trading away Von Miller. Teddy Bridgewater has regressed back to earth. So, Chargers, as much as I don't want to go against Denver, Chargers.
All right, next up, here's the game of the week, and we can be on different sides of this. The LA Rams, coming off a bye week, go into Lambeau, face those Green Bay Packers. And you know something? The line is even. You know something? For whatever, everything is screaming that you should not take the Rams. Matthew Stafford does not have a great, let's say, outing. Like he doesn't have great showing in Lambeau. I don't care. I'm taking the Rams.
Robert Woods is out. Odell Beckham's in town, but you can't trust him. The Rams still have Cooper Kupp. They have Van Jefferson, who is in the Green Bay secondary. I'll wait.
Okay. Is Eric Stokes healthy?
Yeah. Rookie
though.
Eric Stokes. Yeah.
Is Kevin
Yeah.
King there? Oh, he don't matter.
I'm going for Green Bay. Going for Green Bay. Picking Green Bay to win.
You have to.
I'm just saying it's not gonna surprise me or hurt my feelings if Green Bay drops this game. But I am
All right.
hoping and expecting a really good game.
Next up, battle of the middling teams. The Minnesota Vikings face the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara. I'm taking the San Fran.
Yeah, San Francisco's been looking good. Not to say that Minnesota hasn't, because Kirk Cousins has been really efficient this year. And I think that's gone really under the radar. He has two great weapons with Justin Jefferson and with Adam Thielen. Their defense is healthier and more presence on the field. Nobody missing games anymore due to COVID. But something about that San Fran team, it's looking good. It's looking dangerous. It's like Kyle Shanahan's gone back to the drawing board and he's put a couple new wrinkles in.
All right, next up, we've got the Browns going to Baltimore to face those Ravens. I'm going to tell you right now, don't believe in the Browns. I really don't. I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh, rephrase. Lamar Jackson plays, the Ravens win. If Lamar Jackson doesn't play, I don't think the Browns drop it like the Bears.
Ooh. I have the Ravens either way. The Browns haven't looked good, but maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need a little bit of a spark.
All right. The last game, the Monday night game, the Seattle Seahawks travel to D.C. to face the Washington football team. Line on this game is 1. Take that line. Washington football team will win this game.
I got Washington as well. We have a lot of same picks this week. I think one of the only ones we differed on was Carolina, Miami.
And then Green Bay and
Green Bay, LA. Yeah. Ooh.
Yep. All right. That's all she wrote for this week, folks.